Hello everyone, it is me, Lauren B. Welcome to the Untitled Tarot. It's a full moon, y'all. It's a full moon in Pisces. If you have been personally victimized by the full moon in Pisces, please raise your hand, because I know you have been, because I have been. Full moons in general are tough. They're tough for people. Full moons are about release, purging things out. New moons are more about new ideas, setting intentions, manifestations. Full moons are kind of when we release anything that is not in alignment with those intentions, or sometimes having to release those manifestations or those things that we tried to set into motion during the new moon that perhaps weren't in the highest of our alignment, of our development, for our highest good. And a full moon in Pisces, y'all, have you been crying? Because I know I have been crying personally in the bathroom, at work, in my bed. I was watching Mrs. Doubtfire last night, just like, boo-hoo. Like, it's just out of control. It's Pisces full moon. And I know everybody's feeling this way. It is out of control. So I want to get into it a little bit because I think we need a little laugh. We need a little cry. We need a little hug. I've been talking about these emotional, spiritual seasons that we've been going through, that, it's summer, at least in Jersey, it's summer, it's hot, but we've been going through an emotional, spiritual winter. It has been a little cold. We've been trying to climb up the mountaintop. There's been a lot of stuff in our backpacks, like rocks in our backpacks. And every time we have to let go of a rock, there is a bit of a release, that could be relationships, that could be behaviors, self-doubt, things that we participate in, jobs, all kinds of stuff. There is a sense of release and relief when we let it go, but there is also a sense of mourning when we have to do so. And so full moons happen when the moon is on the opposite side of the earth than the sun. So I think we all might be feeling that a little bit. We're on the opposite side of the sun. Our spiritual spring, summer, it doesn't feel like it's here yet. We've been working on it. We've been praying on it. We've been setting our intentions, but somehow we feel like maybe we missed a step. Something didn't line up and it's not quite in yet, right? But the thing about a full moon is that it's fully illuminated. You can't really see a new moon, but you can see a full moon, right? It's almost like seeing where things just aren't adding up, where things just aren't lining up, where things just aren't gonna work for whatever reason it may be, because it's not in our blueprint, because it was just a detour, it was just a season, a reason, a cycle. It wasn't a forever thing, whatever that may be for you. However, full moon in Pisces, we call this the corn moon, harvest moon we're having right now. It's the closest full moon to the autumn equinox, harvest season. And what do we do in harvest season? We release, as a full moon does. We cut things down. And then after we cut things down, we gather and we look at them. Assessment, quality control, the quality of our intentions, the quality of our dreams and our manifestations, the quality of what we're putting in to our bodies, what we're eating, the quality of our relationships, what we're able to take out of it, the quality of our own behaviors and the way that we feel about ourselves, and if that's helping us, and if the way that we're acting, the way we're doing things, and the way that we're participating in relationships, in our projects, the way we're working and moving forward, is it adding anything? Is it adding nutrition to our situations, to ourselves, to our relationships? I don't know why I want to do this, but eat, pray, hustle, baby. This is what we're doing. So with this full moon in Pisces, what's happening is we are getting a heightened sense of sensitivity in all sense. So you could be feeling extra intuitive. Your dreams could be very, very vivid right now. You could also be very emotional. Pisces is a water sign. It's also the last sign. It's feeling full of emotion about the culmination of all of these things that we've just been through, all of these things we've just learned, all of these seasons. There is a bit of a mourning period, right? A little bit of that death energy before the rebirth. Aries, fire energy, the sun, before we get back to the sun and feel warm again. There also is a heightened sense of perceptiveness. Like you can see things that you weren't really realizing now, you weren't really picking up on, especially because the sun is in Virgo. We're in Virgo season right now. So now we're feeling a little bit more grounded. Pisces, water signs, They love fire energy because it's like, it's all filled up, you know? Like water signs don't necessarily love air energy. They don't necessarily love earth energy because it requires them to be logical and it requires them to ground and plants and put that intention in. You can't just be like, I'm passionate and I'm gonna go for it, or I'm feeling watery, so I'm just gonna dream a little dream right now. Wish upon a star. It's like, oh, no, you gotta pluck that star out of the sky. You gotta put it in the ground. You gotta take a little bit of your water, not too much. You gotta harness some sun. You gotta weed. You gotta do all this stuff. It's far too practical for a Pisces. I'm a Pisces. It's far too practical for us. I think everyone else is really realizing and feeling that pressure as well. Like, what isn't practical about these relationships? What isn't practical? Like, okay, I have this dream, I want to do this, but how do I practically put that into motion? Like, do I have to take a class? Do I have to take days off work? Do I have to take days more on to work? Am I going to have to change the people I hang out with? Like, there's a lot going on. And I think the real key here is to approach insecurity and instability, because when we have to release a lot of things, we start feeling like all of these voids around us, all of this purging. It's like, well, I can't keep going down this road. Like, I'm not going to get to where I want to go in this way. Like, I have to put more energy into this, but I don't have any energy, because Pisces is also, they can be a little bit of like a lush. They're a little bit like lushes. They're like, well, I'm feeling emotional, so I'm just gonna have a glass of wine and I'm just not gonna worry about it, and I'm gonna comfort eat. You know, we're gonna do this thing right now, kind of comfort, soothe ourselves a little bit. And sometimes when we feel overwhelmed, we have a tendency to kind of shut down. So that can make us a little apathetic too. You know, it's like apathy, feeling like it's just too much and it's just too practical and there's too many details and there's too many devils in the details, and it's just like, oh, I give up. You know, and you get a little lethargic, you get really tired. Full moons make you tired, especially a full moon in Pisces, you know, and that kind of leads into like a little bit of a depression energy, a little bit of that Eeyore, you know, the little woe is me, like it's just too much and I just can't do it and nobody loves me and I don't even love myself. And like, this is what Pisces full moon does. It like messes with you. Like I said in the beginning, if you've been personally victimized by the Pisces full moon, raise your hand. I'll give you an opportunity, you know? But I think all of us are feeling a little bit like, but she doesn't even go here. You're like, I'm not even supposed to be here. Like Dante Hicks, very Clerks, like, I have a hockey game at 3 and you only brought 1 puck. Like, I'm not even supposed to be here today. I'm supposed to be where the sun is. I'm supposed to be warm. I'm supposed to be happy. All of my manifestations are supposed to be coming in. What the hell? You know, it's like, I'm getting like all these movie things. Bridesmaids, you're like, I'm ready to party. And meanwhile, they're like, get back and coach, you crazy lady. And you're like, oh, I'm too poor. Help me, I'm poor. That's what Pisces full moon energy does to us. And I think what we can really do is, you know, I was in the shower last night, and I was feeling all my feels, and I was like, no, I'm not gonna feel this way, and I was like, no, you know what? Maybe just own your emotions for like a minute, because you can't fight. That's why you've been playing that Leanne Rimes song for me all week. Aw, man. So my guides, they keep, because I do the shufflemancy for myself all the time, and they keep playing Leanne Rimes' Can't Fight the Moonlight. And I was like, what does that mean? See, my nose, I was like, what does that mean for me? Like, I don't understand. I'm trying to like figure out, is it like about a person? Is it about a situation? They're talking about the Pisces full moon, son of a nutcracker. Can't fight the moonlight. Like, you cannot fight a Pisces full moon. That is the big mama energy. It is the last. Pisces represents the moon in the tarot. They're saying, you can't fight this, so just own it. If you're feeling a little defeated, if you're feeling a little sad, a little lonely, a little whatever, just own it. Be like, I don't know if it's right, I don't know if it's wrong, but this is how I'm feeling right now, and I'm not gonna feel bad about my feelings, because my feelings feel bad enough as it is. So let's just own it, let's just accept it, let's just do something about it when this release comes off of us a little bit, because it is cleansing. You know, it's like when you have to go through all of your stuff and purge out your garage, and you find like a letter from an ex, or you find something from your childhood that like makes you a little sad, and you're like, oh my God, and you have to go through the process of that and kind of relive that moment in your head. But once you do that and you throw it out into the dumpster and you take the night to be like, you know, you wake up in the morning and you're like, you know what, all right, I feel a little bit better, it's out of my energy now, you know, it's we've gotten through it. It's like a spiritual emotional sauna a little bit, right? It's like taking all that pressure that we're feeling that's kind of bulking up our ego, our shadow side, the part of us that's like, I'm no good. And it's just like, oh, and it takes all that emotional energy. And an alchemy does occur. It turns it into water vapor. It turns it into steam. And in doing that, you can kind of sweat out like a sweat lodge, like all of these toxins, all of these things that are toxic, that are not good for you. And it's not always just people, places, and things. It can be, but a lot of times it's just the way that we feel about ourselves, water, emotion, energy, the way that we're feeling about ourselves. And realizing in a lot of times that we can be very complacent, like we can sleep. Moon comes out at night. We can sleep on ourselves, on our own dreams, you know, that every time we're like, no, I can't do that. No, I'm not good enough. And, you know, it's kind of a back and forth between like a fear of failure versus a fear of success. Because the fear of failure tells you like, no, I can't do it. I'm not qualified. That came out in a lot of the weeklies. You know, like it's too big. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. But then fear of success is very similar. It's like, well, what if I get it and then I don't know what to do with it? And what if I can't maintain it? And what if it's too big and it's too much of a responsibility and I'm not as good at this as I thought I would? It's like this thing. And nowhere in the between that is there a moment of peace and a moment to be like, you know what, maybe I can do it. And maybe there'll be some things that I'm not as good at and I'll learn them because that's what I do. Because I'm a Pisces and I'm going to use my emotions and I'm going to use everything that I have in my toolbox and I'm going to just feel the way I feel and just like walk it out, as we do here in the Beehive. We walk it out. And I think it's important to remind ourselves that it's scarier not to try than it is to fail, right? It's like you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. That all you need is one. You just need one yes. You just need one opportunity. Like lose yourself. You only got one opportunity. You just need one. As long as it works one time, like then you can put one foot in front of the other and you go walking out the door. But to not even try, now that is regret. Now that is sadness. That's depression. To know that's like you didn't believe in yourself enough to just give it a shot. To be like, you know what? I do deserve better. I don't even know what better looks like, but I do deserve better. Like I do deserve for my dreams to come true. I can pluck my North Star out of the sky and I can plant that in the ground and I can pay attention to it. I don't have to go off into la la land. I can come back and I can water it and I can weed it and I can watch it grow and I can be patient and I can be walking temperance. I used to have this affirmation. I'd be like, I am temperance. I am temperance. I can be balanced. Like I can do this, you know? And some people don't like affirmations, but I think that they're a really good and powerful tool to use when you feel like you're stuck in the mud, right? All that water energy, all of this earth energy going on right now, it creates mud, feeling stuck in stuff. And in that purging and releasing some of that weight, you become unstuck. But when you start fighting against it, mud becomes more like quicksand and you just sink into it and into it and into it. And next thing you know, you're up into your eyeballs with just muck and mud and sand. And it's about releasing that control. And I had a card fly out. It just came out in the Taurus reading from the Starseed Oracle. And it's fall into my arms. Surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life, right? Feeling either so overstimulated by all of your emotions and all this self-doubt and all this fear. And then going into the other opposite end of being like, well, I just don't care. Well, what's the point? And it's not going to happen. And, you know, just forget about it. Just forget about it. Like it's never going to get better. These extremes, when in the middle, you just surrender to the process a little bit. And surrendering to the process doesn't mean that you're like super high vibe and you get up every morning and you're like, ready? Okay. It's not about that. It's like you can be positive. You can remain optimistic without like putting pom-poms on your head. You can be like, you know what? It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be fine. It always ends up working out in the end, so I'm not gonna stress about it. I'm just gonna own my emotions. I feel like crap right now, and I'm just gonna own it because that's okay, and I'm gonna feel better. But I can't figure out where to fix it unless I know where it is. And maybe it's in abandonment. Maybe it's in not believing in yourself. Maybe it's in fear of rejection. Maybe it's in fear of success. Maybe it's just taking on way too much of other people's stuff. Maybe it's just carrying too much of stuff from your past, old thought patterns that just don't serve you anymore, that you've just been sticking in your backpack. You're huffing and you're puffing, trying to get up this mountain. And meanwhile, it's like, just put the whole bag down. You don't need anything else. You just need your little feet, and you need your little hands, and you just need your heart. Your intuition is your North Star. Your third eye is your North Star. Just follow your intuition. Follow the yellow Virgo. Listen to the synchronicities. Listen for the symbols. And before I started this, I got a little alert from the Weather Channel. And it said that there was like a 160-foot crater. 160-foot crater opens in Siberia, a sinkhole. And I was like, Siberia? Isn't it real cold there? Siberia is like a subarctic climate. Emotional. This is how Spirit does this to me. Leanne Rhyme style. We've been in an emotional winter. We've been in a spiritual winter. Stripping, stretching, purging full moon, releasing all of this stuff. And feeling far away from the sun. Siberia, cold. And then all of a sudden, there's a breakthrough. Something opens up for us. And that is in the surrender. This card looks like a huge sinkhole. It looks like a huge crater, right? And 160 as an angel number talks about remaining positive, to believe in your dreams, and remaining positive and optimistic about yourself, about your growth, about your journey, about these goals that you have set for yourself, directly affects the outcome of those dreams, of those intentions, of those manifestations, of those goals that you have for yourself. Everything is connected. If you start in a project, you got to start a new relationship, a new job, whatever, and you're like, oh, I can't do it. That directly affects the outcome of that situation, because the seeds that you planted were of doubt, were of fear, were of worry, mayhem, interesting. Mischief managed. I'm getting mischief managed. You have to manage your mischief. Also, side note, I keep looking at these snake plants. There could be something with the full moon, a lot of this emotional release, realizing that perhaps there have been a lot of people in our environments that haven't had the best intentions towards us, or they were a little bit more self-serving. They didn't have our best interests at heart, and that can make us feel like, we had some snakes in the grass sort of thing. But with all this intense, I'm going to show you too. It looks like the Rainforest Cafe in this room. I'm going to hold it up like a wand. With all this emotional energy that we've been feeling, snake plants are very indicative of protection, yes, but they are very indicative of sharpness of the tongue. When you get upset sometimes and you say some stuff that you don't really mean, or you say it in a way that's a little bit harsher or sharper than you're intending it to be, watch that. At least for the next couple days. Watch how I'm getting a lot of bird stuff too, like a lot of parakeets. Kind of watch your words, watch what you're saying, watch how you're saying it too, because you're not the only one. We're not the only ones going through this Pisces full moon energy. In this community, we're just aware that it's happening. So a lot of people might also be a little sharp tongue and not really realizing why. They might be feeling a lot of pressure and they don't realize why, because they don't watch the moon cycles and they don't watch these videos, and they don't, not everybody in our lives we can talk to about the moon and the stars and Virgo, and it's just the way it is. It's just the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. So to be mindful of that when other people speak to you, but also be very mindful of how you speak to other people right now, because it's just like the energy's hot. The energy's real hot right now. So it's just like, be mindful of that. You might want to get a snake plant. They're lovely. They're absolutely lovely. So, Pisces full moon, we're going to be all right. Everything's going to be just fine. We're going to move into a new cycle. Let's take a little peek real fast before we fall back into the cosmos. What comes up next? On the 10th, we have a third quarter moon in Gemini. Okay, work Gemini. And then between the 16th and the 17th, we have another new moon coming in that will be in Virgo and in Libra. So I think that will really help ground us and also give us more of a streamlined of thought, really kind of juice from the pulp, a little bit like we were talking about, I think, in the new moon video, with that Libra energy, that kind of justice coming in for us, really seeing more of the fruition of our manifestations, of our intentions, seeing like how much we're able to accomplish by the 16th to the 18th, depending on where you are in the world. So say 2 weeks, next 2.5 weeks, after we release a lot of these burdens, in particular, mostly emotional ones that we're feeling right now, that I think it's really gonna help streamline our thought process, and it's really going to help get the ball rolling for us in this new spiritual spring. Yes. And so I look very much forward to seeing that energy come in. I know you do too. So this was the full moon in Pisces video. It's going to be okay. I'm sending you a hug. I love you very much. All of my information is in the description box. All your weeklies are out right now. The monthlies, your September monthlies are out. I do them by element. I don't do the 12 monthlies. I do 4 monthlies. But each of you have your own section within those element by design readings. So I encourage you to go check those out. I love you very much. Take care of yourself. Go have a little nap. Yeah, go have a little nap. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.